continues here on One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. Metro Manila is all set to be put under GCQ Alert Level 4 starting tomorrow. Let's talk about the travel restrictions under this new set of classifications with Tourism Secretary Bernadette Romulo Puyat. Good afternoon, Secretary. Can you walk us through the inter and intrazonal travel guidelines? Let's start here in the NCR first. Any changes?
Yes. Under Alert Level 4, finally, interzonal and intrazonal travel is allowed, meaning those from NCR can now travel to a GCQ or an MGCQ area. But again, provided that the tourist destination accepts tourists. So at least unlike before when we had an ECQ and MECQ, there was no travel allowed. Now, leisure travel is allowed. Number two, under Alert Level 4, we have age restrictions. So I'm always pushing for no age restrictions, but under Alert Level 4, those below 18 and above 65 cannot go for leisure travel. Number two, outdoor tourist attractions in NCR are now open. So Intramuros, Rizal Park, now open, starting September 16. So again, this is from those in between 18 years old to 65. Because again, under Alert Level 4, there are age restrictions. And then dine-in, 10% for fully vaccinated, and alfresco, 30% is again already allowed. Now, the good thing about hotels is 99% of all those working in hotels are now vaccinated. So you can be assured that when you go to a hotel, everybody there is vaccinated. And so with the DOT accredited restaurants, 94% of those working in restaurants are now also vaccinated. And people will ask, staycation is allowed? Not yet. But for hotels, pwedeng in dining, 10%, only for fully vaccinated, 30% alfresco. Outdoor tourist attraction is allowed. And they can go to GCQ or MGCQ tourist destinations.
All right, you mentioned that there are age restrictions still in place under Alert Level 4. Mawawala ba yung age restrictions at a lower alert? Yeah, at which point, Sec?
At Alert Level 3, dapat wala ng age restrictions. With us in the Department of Tourism, we're always naman fighting for no age restrictions. When tourism was finally reopened last year, at first there were age restrictions and eventually there were no age restrictions. As you all know, Sean, di ba? Filipinos travel as a family. Di ba? When you travel, you have to be with those below 18 and above 65. So right now, since it's still Alert Level 4, there are, but Alert Level 3, wala ng age restrictions.
Right. Of course, the tourism sector, as we know, Sec, it's been suffering, and the stakeholders have been. You've been in constant contact with them. In any way, will these new quarantine classifications help shift the tourism sector to a more positive, note, a positive revenue and positive outlook?
Yes. What's nice with this is, number one, we are all vaccinated. Like, for example, in NCR, when we started the ECQ a few months ago, only 40% was vaccinated. So we took this time under ECQ and MECQ to vaccinate everybody. And with the granular lockdown, at least it's not the whole place that's on lockdown. With Alert Level 4, there is economic activity. So we are always continually pushing. In fact, one of the reasons why they finally allowed dine-in, even for 10%, was because we told them that all the tourism workers, all those working in hotels, are vaccinated. So, di ba, we not only want those eating out in restaurants to be vaccinated, we also want to protect our tourism workers. So that's at least both. What we're doing also now is we are actively asking, we're very grateful to Sec Galvez and Sec Vince because the priority for vaccination is the NCR +8. But they've been giving us priority for, let's say, Boracay, Siargao, Baguio, Palawan. So what we are doing is we are actively vaccinating the tourism workers in all these tourist destinations. Like, for example, in Boracay, 73% already of the active tourism workers have been vaccinated. So only a few we're going to be reaching 100. in Baguio, 100% already are vaccinated. And that's what we plan to do for all the tourist destinations. And that's the only thing, Sean, if they're all vaccinated and they accept vaccinated tourists, so maybe, we could remove the age restrictions, we could be less strict, diba? And that's what we plan to do.
That's right. There's really no replacement for peace of mind. So even if you take a vacation, if the peace of mind is not there, might as well not take that vacation. Now, long story short, Sec, because of all the changing rules and regulations that we're all familiar with, what are the biggest changes that you would say travelers need to take note of?
We had 2 surveys with the Asian Institute of Management because we wanted to see what were the travelers' preferences during the pandemic. Number one in both surveys, 96%, they are not looking how nice the beach is or how good the food is. They are looking for health and safety protocols. So every time a tourist wants to go to a destination, 96% wants to know, will I be safe? So that's what we've been doing since last June of 2020. We are making sure that all the DOT accredited hotels, resorts, accommodation, all pass the standards, not only of the Department of Tourism, but the DOH and the WHO. Dumadaan yan sa mga doktor because we're talking now about health and safety protocols. Now the travelers now want open air, open space, and small groups. And so that's what we're catering to now. We're catering to what the travelers want now. And so those are the changes. Now it's really health and safety. That's why it's very important. A lot of our tourist destinations, that's why there is no vaccination hesitancy when you talk about tourism workers. Because the tourists now, they always ask, bakunado ba yung mga tao dyan? Will I be safe? So that's what we're doing because, as I said, we want everybody, not only the travelers, but the tourism workers to be safe.
All right. So another question I think that I have for you would be, what can we expect you to push for in the upcoming IETF? Anything else that you're pushing for, or like a wish list from the sector that you're watching over?
Yes. Always sana matanggal the age restrictions. Because, diba, Filipinos nga travel as a family. There are a lot of times and we were able to remove the age restrictions and it was very successful. Because, diba, a Filipino family, diba, it's not only even the family, pati kapitbahay kasama and second, third cousin, we all want to travel as a family. And that's what the sector is asking for, no age restrictions. And they are okay, even if they have to take RT-PCR, they are okay as long as they travel as a family. Of course, that's it. More people will travel if they can bring the whole family with them. Number 2, of course, I'm always pushing for lower RT-PCR tests because admittedly, diba, everybody has to take a negative, to make sure that they are negative swab tests. Although we have a program with the PCMC, Philippine Children's Medical Center, which will start again tomorrow. As long as you are a tourist, we subsidize your RT-PCR. It only costs 750 pesos. You know, usually, diba, RT-PCR would cost 3,500 or 4,000 per person. This only costs 750 pesos and the results come out in 24 hours. But of course, if all of them lower pa their prices, sana, diba, that's my dream. Lower people can travel with less restrictions, less cost, and, you know, just enjoy all these tourist destinations.
All right. Thank you so much for your time and your fight. Tourism Secretary Bernadette Romulo Puyat. Stay safe, Sec.
Thank you very much.
All right. The Health Department also reported over 16,900 new COVID-19 cases today. This has brought the country's overall cases to 2,283,000, some 170,000 of which are still considered active. 214 new COVID-related deaths were also confirmed overnight, bringing the death toll to 35,700. 135 cases that were previously tagged as recovered have been reclassified as deaths. On the other hand, we have total recoveries now at 2,076,000, with over 24,100 new survivors logged in the last 24 hours. 25.9% of the 57,000 total COVID-19 tests administered yielded positive results. Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories.
Right now, what we are doing is
Armed Forces spokesperson Lieutenant Colonel Denny Zagala said the current level of terror threat here in the Philippines is moderate. This comes on the back of the Japanese Foreign Ministry saying it received information about possible terror attacks in 6 Southeast Asian nations. The Japanese embassy in Manila has already issued an alert to all Japanese citizens residing in the country. Trade Secretary Ramon Lopez said the granular lockdown system to be implemented in Metro Manila starting tomorrow is expected to bring back about 200,000 jobs. This translates to around 180 million pesos a week in revenue, primarily from the restaurant sector. And tech giant Apple unveiled its iPhone 13 with expanded 5G connectivity, faster chips, and sharper cameras. The new iPhone also has a better display, longer battery life, and a cinematic mode that will automatically change focus. The iPhone 13 and its Pro and Pro Max editions will be available in the international market by September 24. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News.